Hey, Brutus, I just realized, you know what we should do for these? Yeah, these potions. Okay, I want to continue from the last episode where we were on that states ranked thing.
$300 for that and $2,000 for this, way too expensive. But today I'm going to show you guys how to get all this stuff for a lot cheaper. Okay, so first.
We'd have to have that Indiana.
Want to move there. 38, Ohio. Ohio is climbing up the ladder here. They're getting a little bit better, and I think if I do this list in 2 or 3 years, they'll be into the top 20 at least. They've got a lot of jobs coming back to Ohio. They lost a lot in the 80s and the 90s, 70s actually too, but a lot of jobs are coming back to Ohio. That's good news for this state. 37, New Jersey. New Jersey doesn't have a lot wrong with it other than the cost of living, their cities blow, and they tax these people to no end. The rural parts of New Jersey are pretty decent. I've been to quite a few small towns there, and I like them. It's just when you start getting into the cities, it gets bad. Trenton, Camden, Newark, Hackensack. Really, Hackensack's not that bad. I just wanted to say it. Love the name of that city. Their cost of living's pretty bad, but they don't have bad crime in Hackensack. That's one of the bright spots when it comes to cities in New Jersey. Number 36, New York. That's right. The Empire State shows up at number 36. It's kind of medium in a lot of different things, but stats from New York City really drag down the rest of the state. I mean, New York City's cost of living is through the roof. Along with its crime, not as bad as it once was.
Just that some houses can cost millions, especially those like stupid penthouse apartments that like cost like $69 billion, like $69 gajillion, and it's like, hey, look at this beautiful sound of non-stop construction. Yeah, my view is better than that. You wanna know what my view is? I look out and I don't see a city for more than 4 miles away. My house costs a lot less than other people's, and I like it way better because you wanna know why? I don't have to worry about trains or honking or anything. Where I live at, it's legal and perfectly normal to hear gunshots. Yes, I do. Hey, do you play Minecraft? Look on all 450 for 350 some episodes of Building a Country in Minecraft. If you go to Building a Country in Minecraft and you don't think I'm a Minecraft player, there might be something wrong with you. I have streamed over like what? Over 350 episodes of that? It's stupid. Like me.
A lot of their stats are just.
I'm surprised New York got this ranking.
Now, if you took New York City and made it its own thing, New York State by itself would not be that bad of a place. It gets cold and they've got some rundown cities just like every place else, but they got jobs, they got good people, and they got a lot of nice land. 35, Missouri. Yeah, there's nothing really going on in Missouri other than Lake of the Ozarks, which I love. They come in 45th when it comes to crime, and really most of those numbers come from Kansas City and St. Louis, so, I mean, Springfield's no gem either, but 34, South Carolina. South Carolina is not a bad state to live, especially if you're living in the low country, which is like
what should I put in these chests?
Bluffton. Those are all great places to live. They have some other areas in the Greenville metro area along with Columbia. They're decent and good places to live.
Oh yeah, right. I know what I was gonna
do. In the future, I'm sure the whole state will be moving up on the list. They just have a lot of small towns that you should avoid at all costs. Number 33, Arizona. Arizona's on this list because it's getting a little too crowded. They're ranked 46 in education. Now that deals with the high school on down. Their colleges are usually pretty decent. And in recent years, their infrastructure's taken a hit. I mean, they've had too many people move in, and it's hard for a state and local government to keep up with that kind of influx of people. Texas is going through the same thing right now. 32, California. California.
Where's my state?
It's got a lot of bad, but they still have one of the best economies in the country, actually in the world. They have some of the highest paying jobs.
However,
It's too high, they got a serious
however, I have heard, like, even cost of living in San Francisco, get this, $1.4 million. That is a lot. So if you want to live in San Francisco, $1 million. That's like the average. You can find houses probably they're like 50,000 or anything, but it is expensive living there. Like hella expensive. Especially San Francisco.
They got great weather and plenty of things to do, but can you afford to do all those things if you live here? I asked our subscribers what they thought was the best state and what they thought the worst state was. This comment explains California perfectly. They're the best and they're the worst at the same time. 31, Wyoming. Wyoming's another state that suffers from wide open land syndrome, which gives you bad health care. And that's just because of access. It's hard.
Oh, you haven't seen Illinois.
Outback. Number 30, Illinois.
Oh, my
Illinois
state.
Is another state that gets drugged down by one city, and that's Chicago. I mean, they have some other places, like East St. Louis. That
Boom. There it is. I called it. I will say, in my opinion, I can say this 100%. Chicago, the outskirts, are ass. It is nonstop, destroyed environment. It's pollution everywhere. It's all factories. Like, the coastal parts of Chicago, that's okay. The outer parts are just, it's all cramped together. There are parts of even central Chicago that have been destroyed by redlining back then when you literally could drive a black person onto an area and it would lower the price value of it. You know, back when that area happened. Luckily, that doesn't happen anymore, but sadly... Oh, yeah, I do. I'm actually getting into Phantom Forces, and I used to be so bad. Actually, I shouldn't put the use in there. I'm still pretty bad at Phantom Forces, but you know what? It's because I'm playing it.
But yeah, Illinois would be doing a lot better if they could just get rid of their cities. 29, Rhode Island. Rhode Island, I think in the future is going to be getting worse. And this is because a lot of people are starting to move there. In 2021, the little state of Rhode Island was number 10 on the most moved to state list for 2021. Rhode Island is ranked 49th in infrastructure. One thing to keep in mind, infrastructure also counts for schools, not just roads and bridges. It's schools, hospitals. That's all part of infrastructure. And when you have a bunch of people moving in and you're not ready for it, your infrastructure takes a hit. 28, Montana.
Illinois infrastructure is bad. If you drive, I have a challenge for you. Drive an interstate through my strait from one part to the other. You will find a construction area. It's that bad. Infrastructure is always changing, and it's bad. Illinois also has really bad politics and stuff. You want to know what's funny? So I'm not saying that I'm smarter than you. My iPad has 69% battery in it. Anyway, so if you probably know what a term is in politics. Now you should know a term dictates the time a senator can serve, right? Or a governmental figure can serve. Which in Illinois, I think it's about 4 years. But here's where it gets wild. You can serve unlimited terms. I am not joking. If I wanted to, I could literally serve Illinois from when I get into office till I die. You could run Illinois until you literally fall over and die. And that is what leads to corruption, because you could just literally, for lack of a better word, sorry for that word, cuck the state and get like infinite power, basically. Oh, and you can also abuse this tax systems, yeah. Oh, it's...
Same thing in Montana. 27, Texas. Texas, for a long time...
Texas has a cracked economy. Texas could literally say, F you to America, sever itself, and it'd be one of the most powerful countries in the world if it did that. It is very, very dumb. Like, their economy is dumb. They have their own oil grid. They have their own power grid. What else do I have to say?
Couple years, years, all those good things are catching up with them. Like I've said in other videos, they're a victim of their own popularity. Too many people are moving there. Their infrastructure's suffering. Their prices are going up. The heyday of Texas, I think, ended like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of maybe.
Absolutely
I can see.
not. In my opinion, I think it's still one of the best places to move to when you compare it to other states. I also think it's number one when you look at the big four: New York, Florida, California, and Texas. I always see those as the big four states. I still think they're number 1 or 2. 26, Maine. Maine just has a lot of open land.
Maine
really
just.
cold. They are one of the safest states in the union. They're actually number 2 when it comes to crime. But a lot of stats are in the mid-20s to 30s. 25, Tennessee. A couple of years ago, 25 was a dream for Tennessee. They weren't doing that good. They're getting a lot better, and here they are, the middle of the pack. I honestly think if we do this again in 2 or 3 years, they're going to move into the top 20 easily. 24, Kansas. Kansas is like the poster child for average and normal in the United States.
Plagued with
All their
tornadoes.
stats are middle of the road, just average. Their
I remember once.
housing is still pretty cheap.
I remember once I went to Kansas City and literally. Oh, bye. I remember once when I went to Kansas City and we were in the middle of a tornado outbreak. Luckily, it was like on the way other side of the city. It was no chance of hurting us. And holy crap. You probably know this about Kansas City. It has a ton of water fountains. There are so freaking many of them. It is literally nicknamed the City of Water Fountains. It's ridiculous how many water fountains are in Kansas City. When I went to Kansas City, I was experiencing some garbage stomach aches, dude. Oh my god, that was the worst.
So, get in now. 23, Hawaii. Hawaii gets killed by cost of living. When it comes
Cost
to
of living, you're literally on a volcano, could flood, and limit of supplies.
When it comes to natural environment, everything else is kind of middle of the road.
I will say, like,
other than
4 reasons why I wouldn't want to live in Hawaii is that, yeah, cost of living, it's susceptible to flooding, and literally lack of shipments, like limit of supply. However, it does boast one thing that no other state does, which is absolute luxury. It is a beautiful state.
economy and cost of living, where they're ranked 46th. Number 22, Oregon. Oregon is a great state if you eliminate Portland. Portland's kind of a nightmare right now, as we all know, with the homeless and the sporadic gunfire we have these days, along with the possibility of a riot or a protest. Here in Oregon, especially in Portland, we kind of look at riots and protests sort of how Florida looks at hurricanes. It's just this thing that could happen at any time. What are you going to do? Oregon wins when it comes to natural environment and infrastructure. They actually
Oregon, I do like Denver. Denver's pretty.
Most of their other stats are in the teens.
Wait,
21,
wait, I'm an idiot. Oh, wait, I don't... No, it's in Colorado. I'm an idiot. Please don't pretend I didn't say it. That's in Colorado. I will say, Denver's a pretty city.
Pennsylvania does really good when it comes to their healthcare,
Chocolate.
natural environment, and their economy. They drop the ball on different things, but their cost of living through most of the state is really good. If you watch this channel long enough, you know I'm a big fan of Pennsylvania. I love this state. It's beautiful. Number 20, Delaware. Delaware has a disadvantage, and it's called Wilmington. Wilmington is like one of the worst cities in the United States. Nobody really knows is a bad city. You know, when you're thinking bad cities, you're thinking, you know, Chicago, Detroit, Camden, New Jersey, East St. Louis. Nobody ever thinks Wilmington is that bad. Nobody ever brings it up, but it's not great. Their worst stat is crime, and they're ranked 39th on that. Everything else is in the teens and 20s, and a lot of that crime comes from Wilmington. Number 19, Connecticut. Like I've said before, Connecticut is a really weird place in so many different ways. I mean, they have some of the worst small towns and some of the best small towns at the same time. Their cities aren't great, and these people have an obsession with Dunkin' Donuts. They even have a minor league baseball stadium called Dunkin' Donuts Park, and if you want to know who plays there? Well, that's the AA minor league baseball Yard Goats. Yeah, they're called the Yard Goats. Connecticut does have some really great things besides the Yard Goats. They're ranked 3rd in healthcare and 6th in education. Infrastructure and opportunity are in the 40s, but they got some nice numbers everywhere else. Number 18, Maryland. Maryland is another state that I think will move up on this list in coming years. I mean, they've gotten better. Baltimore, which brings them down in most cases, has slowly been getting better over the last 4 or 5 years. So we'll see how they look in a couple more years from now. 17, Colorado. Colorado used to be a lot
I
better,
like
but they're kind of
Colorado.
moving down the list, and I think that's because they got too many people living there now. Denver's a little too crowded. Colorado Springs is getting a little too crowded. John Denver died over 2 decades ago and, quit singing songs about him. But when it comes to education, they're ranked 5th, and when it comes to economy, they're number 2 in the country. Number 16, Georgia.
Man, if I lived near Denver, I'd go there for school, but it'd probably be costly.
State is doing better than it did in past videos.
Georgia.
The biggest knock right now is
The cotton state. Very, very bad for growing things other than cotton.
They got a lot of nice
My mom used to live in Georgia. It's literally just nothing but clay. The earth is just clay.
Number 15, North Dakota. When they started getting oil out of the ground in North Dakota some years back, it did a lot for the state as far as infrastructure and things like that. Well, the oil goes up and down, and their economy kind of fluctuates with it now. But infrastructure is their best stat in North Dakota, and a lot of it has to come with the oil industry. They're ranked 4th when it comes to infrastructure. Natural environment is 8th. Everything else is in the 20s. 14, Iowa. Iowa's biggest problem is boredom, but they come in first
No
when it
kidding.
comes to opportunity. There's a lot of jobs.
Of all states and provinces in the world, Iowa is the #1 producer of corn. So if you get your corn, there's a big majority. It's coming from fellow Iowa. Hello, Iowa. How's it going?
And it's still relatively cheap, so that's good. If you want to raise a family, there's a hell of a lot worse states.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Number 13, South Dakota. South Dakota's a nice state to live. I mean, the natural environment is amazing. Their crime's a little higher ranked than I would have expected. They're 35th. Their hospitals are 29th, but everything else is like 14, and their fiscal stability, they're 2nd. Not bad. Number 12, North Carolina. There's a reason North Carolina is one of the most moved to states for quite some time now. They're not always in the top 10, but they're always right around number 10. 11, 12, 9, 8, something like that. Their economy is ranked 17th in the nation. Their education is number 7. Nothing else they have. I mean, their absolute worst thing is healthcare, and that's number 30. Not bad. Number 11, Vermont. Vermont is one of my favorite states, and if it was just going off my opinion, I would have put them at number 2 or 3. Their highest marks are natural environment, number 9. Their crime is number 3. They're the 3rd best in the nation. That is not bad. Education's 15th, and their healthcare is 18th. Not a bad state to live in. You just got to deal with the cold occasionally. And when I say occasionally, I mean like 5 months out of the year, maybe. That's not that bad. Probably a good 3 months. It's pretty cold in Vermont. Number 10, Florida. Florida's, very interesting state.
Florida, mainly the coastal parts of Florida are good. Maybe Miami, there might be a little bit of crime down there. But in my opinion, I love Florida. It's really nice to watch all the lightning. All the storms are good. Like, if you take all the crazy stuff that happens in Florida out, Florida's like just a really nice state. It's a really beautiful one. I went down there, and dude, the thunderstorms down there are awesome. And if you know me, if you ever watch my Instagram, I love thunderstorms. I enjoyed it. And plus, I went to Disneyland or Disney World, which I regret my visit there because I didn't take advantage of it. What I'm saying is basically I really wish I could go back there again one day, because maybe like probably a few years after the pandemic ends. I went there and I did not use my time appropriately.
Fiscal stability is number 8. Their absolute worst thing is their healthcare, and that's ranked 25th. They have a lot of areas that still have reasonably priced land, too. And in a few videos recently, I've talked about how Tampa is probably one of the better cities in the United States right now. That one's more my opinion than statistically, but I think it's a very underrated city, and I think it's one of the better ones we've got going for the next few years at least. Number 9, Idaho. Again, there's a lot of reasons this is a very move-to state. They kind of slowed down around 19 or 20, but 2021, they got back into the top 5. The Gem State is ranked 3rd when it comes to economy. They're ranked 10th in both crime and infrastructure. Their education's their worst thing, 29th. Number 8, Virginia. Virginia is a sleeper, I think. You know, not a lot of people realize how many people are actually moving to Virginia. It's become more and more popular in recent years. It was big in the 90s, then it kind of cooled off, and now in recent years, a lot of people have been moving there again. They're doing a lot of things right in Virginia. They're ranked 8th when it comes to opportunity, 9th when it comes to crime, healthcare 12th, education 12th, economy 13th. All their numbers are pretty good. The worst thing they have is their infrastructure, which is 39th. Number 7, Massachusetts. Now, I've been saying I'm not going to give you a bunch of stats, but when we get to Massachusetts, I got to tell you this. Healthcare, 2nd. Education, 2nd. Economy, 5th. Now, their infrastructure is 42nd, which is not great, but then you go to crime, 4th. Natural environment, 4th. Those are...
I must say, I would give Massachusetts like a little bit of a soft spot because it is one of the oldest states founded. It's only one of the first 13 colonies, so it makes sense that the infrastructure wouldn't be like kind of like a... But I will say, Boston is really nice. I will say the CIT, like the colleges there I hear are really good. They do a lot of technological stuff over there at Massachusetts.
Healthcare, 2nd. Education, 2nd. Economy, 5th. Now, their infrastructure is 42nd, which is not great, but then you go to crime, 4th. Natural environment, 4th. Those are solid numbers. You could have a couple 50s in there and still be in the top 10. Number 6, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's another state that has...
I am glad to announce that I will be going to Wisconsin. And I cannot effing wait for it. Wisconsin is beautiful. It's like Illinois, but if you spice it up a little bit. If you don't try to over spice it. It just looks nice. I love Wisconsin because it's like Illinois, but you got hills in it. And you know how I am about my hills in Illinois. There's nothing here. There are no hills over here. Anyway.
Are really good stats. Healthcare, they're 15th. Education, they come in 8th. Opportunity, 9th. Natural environment, 17th. They have some good numbers in Wisconsin, but they're also so high on this list because it is one of the best states for families. They got a really good reputation there. Milwaukee's their only negative, and it's really not as bad as some of the worst
and the
places
Dells.
in this country. But for Wisconsin, it's bad. Compared to Detroit or Chicago, it's like downtown Disney. Number 5, Nebraska. Nebraska has a lot of the things Wisconsin has going, and it's just like Iowa, a little bit better. Their highest marks are education, infrastructure, and natural environment. Everything else, other than crime, which is 31st, is in the low 20s. Number 4, Minnesota. Minnesota is another one of these states that...
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Up today? It's cold out there.
God, that armor, I made it so big. Minnesota, the only bad thing...
Statistically, Minnesota's in good shape. They don't have anything in the 30s. Nothing in Minnesota is ranked above 17, which is their education. Everything else is below that. Opportunity's number 2. And stop typing. We all know that you have to shovel snow in Minnesota quite often. That always sucks. So pack on a couple pounds and get a nice jacket and move to Minnesota.
What keeps me vital? Fun is always vital. And the simple things, like vital proteins. Every moment is vital. What's vital to you?
Ever have a moment you wish perfectly captured and bottled forever? Oh, captured exactly like this.
Number 3, New Hampshire. New Hampshire and Vermont are always very similar. New Hampshire's just a little bit better this time around. They're right up there with Vermont and Maine when it comes to crime. Actually, New Hampshire's ranked the best in the nation. They're 2nd when it comes to natural environment. 3rd for opportunity. Who saw that one coming? Nobody ever thinks about moving to New Hampshire to start a new career or something. Healthcare, 13. Education, 13. Economy, 11th. Not bad bad numbers, New Hampshire. Number 2, Utah. Yes, Utah is a great state to live, and a lot of people have been picking up on this in recent years, and it's getting more and more popular. But they have all the right stats in all the right places. I'd probably never move there. I'm not into the desert-type landscapes they have, which I know they have mountains and they have other things, but a majority of the state is like a freaking desert. Beautiful, but just not my type of thing. They have the best economy. Their crime is 8th in the nation, which isn't bad. Infrastructure's 5th. Healthcare, they rank 11th. And their education, they're ranked 10th. On top of all that good news, for the most part, their real estate is very reasonable. Not sure how much longer that's going to be, but it's still reasonable. And that's compared to the rest of the country. If you're looking at houses in Utah right now and you're working part-time at Taco Bell, sure, it's not reasonable to you, but compared to the averages, it's reasonable. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. I would really love it if you went over there and subscribed, watched some videos, give some videos big thumbs up. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Washington State. That is right, Washington State is the best state to live in right now. And it's just not me saying that. A lot of different lists have Washington at number 1. Listen to where they rank. Across the board, healthcare 8, education 4th, economy 4th, infrastructure 3rd, opportunities their worst one, and that's 25th. Crime and correction 19, and natural environment, they're 15. Those are not bad numbers. They also don't have a state income tax, which draws a lot of people in, especially retirees. You just gotta deal with the rain and the cold, and it's a great state. It's a beautiful state. It's a lot like Oregon with half the problems. Every time I bring up Washington as a bad state, I get some comments and even some emails from, I think it's one guy that just has this serious problem with Washington and thinks I'm lying whenever I say anything good about it. And I honestly just think he's got some issues going on with the state of Washington, but all of Washington's statistics are below average in most cases. Alright, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.
Most hated countries around the world.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs and a list about the most hated countries on the planet. Yeah, people hate different countries. Several different organizations do different surveys on what country is the most hated or disliked on the planet. Reputation Institute, Pew Research does this thing called Attitude Towards Different Countries. I looked at all the different surveys that I could find, and I came up with a list of countries that most frequently show up on these studies, or surveys, whatever you want to call them. There are a lot of different reasons people from other countries may hate another country. It could be things that happened in the past or now. It could be for economic reasons or military reasons. For whatever reason, people hate. It's just a fact. This is a very interesting list. I found some on the list. They really haven't done anything horrible in decades and decades, but people hate them going back hundreds and hundreds of years. It's really strange. All right, let's see what people say are the most hated countries.
Number 10 is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is an oil-rich country in the Persian Gulf.
I could
heard of Saudi Arabia. This place is highly dominated by religious laws and go all the way to medieval punishments like stoning, lashing.
I can see why that's bad.
Women really get a raw deal here too, with lack of most freedoms that we take for granted here.
Now, I'm gonna say, if I say something that I hate about a country, that doesn't mean I hate the people. It just means, you know, like a bad thing about it. For example, I'll say this. One thing I don't like about the United States is that in a certain time period, like every time period you look at, there is always a group that's always treated poorly and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Part of our normal life. I was reading some of their laws and thinking, why would they stop a woman from doing that? One of their laws that just baffled me, which I knew about it for a long time, I just thought it was strange, started reading about it, was women, when they go outside the home, have to cover themselves from head to toe, including their faces. And they're not allowed to go anyplace alone. They have to take a male relative with them. Could be a brother. Quick for both the woman and her brother, who every time she's got to go to the store, you know, and if her husband's working, she's got to call her loser brother to come over and escort her to the store. They got a whole bunch of other reasons that rub outsiders the wrong way here, and that's what gets them on lists like this. Most tourists will tell you that to stay away from this place because it's kind of boring to visit. We're gonna be heroes! For those who love peanut butter, and those who want to get... Number 9, Turkey. Turkey has had a
Turkey.
love-hate relationship with the world for centuries. Turkish people are great. I know a few of them. All of them are wonderful people. What's putting them on the list, according to several sources, is their current government, and actually their past government when they were the Ottomans. When you go way back, Turkey is hated because of the Armenian genocide. The massacre was carried out by the Ottoman Empire and resulted in the deaths of 1.5 million people. Armenians, mostly. If you don't know the Ottoman Empire, it's probably because you're from the United States. We kind of just brush over it in our world history, but the Ottoman Empire was basically big in this area, and it all came from Turkey. And I just totally broad brushed that again, but that's to give you the idea what's going on there. Although the massacre is widely known, it is still denied by the Turkish government. It's like they know it happened, everyone else knows it happened, but if they don't admit it, it didn't happen.
Oh, God. Number 8.
Number 8, Iran. I know many Persians.
Oh.
Worked in Beverly Hills for a lot of years, and it's filled to the brim with Persians. Like Turkey, the people are kind, decent,
So what-
very smart, and friendly. It's their government. It supports terrorism around the world.
That's that's it. It's like, it's not the people in the country, it's the government, though. Like, for example, Russia, the only problem with Russia is its government. I can almost argue the same thing with America. I know that. Like, Iran's a good country, but it's not to its full potential because of terrorists. That's literally it's holding it back. Wipe out the terrorism, wipe out the corrupt rulers, and I bet you that Iran could be such a beautiful place to live.
Record keeps threatening the world with nukes, and it likes to piss off the most powerful nations on the planet. The people are great, though, and it's not just the United States.
Exactly,
that, like,
people
rub it
are
the wrong
probably
way.
really, really
Everyone.
nice.
You're a major power in this world. Iran's gotten under your skin at some point. Number 7, India. If any country excels in discrimination,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I will say it is really upsetting how India probably gets a lot of discrimination because of the stereotypical scammer. Which I have to say, if you're an Indian scammer, shame on you, dude. You're making your people get abused. And those people that are, like, abusing Indians because of, like, you know, who they are, like, yeah, congratulations. You're just a vigilante of justice. You're just making the world a better place. It's just a sad story, though. Indian scammers are ruining their people's reputation, and they're absolutely destroying every good quality associated with people of Indian descent. I have no problem with them. In fact, I know that some of my parents, one of my parents' bosses is an Indian, and they're pretty good. They're a good person, and I like that. I just don't like how it's. I just don't like how it's like what's called the stereotypical. And I also hate how people stereotype Muslim people with terrorism. If you do that, you just kind of suck in general.
it's India. This is one of the main reasons people hate this.
Oh, and the second big thing is India is hella polluted.
Race, gender is perfectly a normal thing. Now, I'm not saying all of them. This is just a general field. I'm sure you could run into a lot of really nice Indians. This, as you can imagine, puts bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it kind of keeps them away from visiting India. The country isn't safe, especially for women. They are cracking down on this, but it isn't terribly rare to find out that some woman was attacked by a group of men. For a while there, it seemed to be happening like every week. I mean, brutal stuff too. Not like touching on the bus or something like that. It was ugly. On top of that, they aren't the best neighbors to other countries around them. They have a really bad reputation for that. Number 6, the United Kingdom. Yes, believe it or not,
what?
The United Kingdom is hated by a lot of people, and it's not so much as what's going on now. It's they have a terrible past. It's thought by many around the world that the UK is extremely greedy. And
You know what? I actually kind of see this. I don't say it's like a good thing, but they were one of the most powerful nations in the world. Their navy was a superpower. Even before guns were invented, their navy was quite literally cracked. If you pissed off Britain, it was a suicide. Like, you'd rather commit suicide than piss off Britain. It was a tank, and it still is a tank. I think it might be hid definitely because it's past. There might be like laws against like guns and stuff. I do not know. It still looks like a good place to live.
At one point, it was one of the first in the world to bring in a slavery system. It encouraged civil wars, oppressed and looted many countries, and is responsible for the division and destruction of several countries and different continents around the world, and still involved in most of the major wars that happen on the planet. But if you go way back, I mean, look at anything to do with history, especially here in the United States, you can tell England was they're kind of a-holes. And the arrogance they had back in the day about it was just incredible. One of the best scenes, there's a movie called Last of the Mohicans, and Daniel Day-Lewis is just like this scout woodsman, and this British officer, he saves him. And then he's all, how is it you came across this war party of Native Americans that were attacking the British? And he goes, well, we were heading to Kentucky. He's like, why are you heading to Kentucky? All of our scouts are heading someplace else. And he goes, well, I ain't one of your scouts. And he just, the British officer's demeanor was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm just not doing that stuff. Great movie, though. One of the reports I read, there's a big problem with the British. Obviously, they were in India for a very long time. And I don't know all the ins and outs.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot. The United Kingdom did raid Africa, and they, oh, yes, it is, that's it, look on video, there it is right there, it's that building, I don't feel like it right now, I want to build, that building is notorious for baking people's paint off of cars, and back then, like literally, if you think about it, the British literally fought us for America. They raided Africa, killed women and children with machine guns with no mercy, plundered of resources, established a corrupt government against their own people. Can you imagine if I don't want to kill boss, I'm sorry, I want to build now. Can you imagine if your neighbor just came over to your house, killed half your family, and said, hey, I know this is your house, but you're gonna abide by my rules? That's bullcrap. And that's literally what Britain did. Also, they raided India. And literally, yeah. There's something called the, let's see. You know, like, I don't know what it's called, but, there's something called, Mahatma Gandhi that protested against British rule. The African War. Like, no, I get that. I'm not saying they're bad.
But it's
just their government.
But it's a little more time
back then. It's better now. Way better.
Destroyed India and ruined its education system. What did they do? Like steal all the teachers? What went on there? I gotta read about that. Number 5, China. China has a lot of people.
I get this. China is real hated. In fact, people, if you ever see me ranting about China, I do not hate their people. I hate their government. Their government hides a lot of stuff. In fact, I like China because they invented paper, they invented writing, they invented bombs, they invented silk, they invented a ton of things. The reason, like, gunpowder exists is because of China. They're awesome. Their economy is great. But it's suppressed by their leaders. And that's the bad thing. And that's their... And because of that, it's gotten a lot.
Ugly history, and cheap exports. They've been accused of currency manipulation and have decided that the island of Taiwan belongs to them. There's always something going on between those two. Some of their low-cost products include medicine and food. On a few occasions, they've decided to use materials that are less expensive so they could drive up profits, make the product cheaper. The downside is this has caused some deaths. That type of thing has gone on for decades with them. So many times they found out some toy that was inspected before, all of a sudden they switched it out to having lead-based paint or something like that because it's cheaper on a kid's toy. As you can imagine, all those things have gotten them on this list.
You can tell a lot about someone based on their friends. Take Richard Irvin. The real Richard Irvin is a lifelong liberal Democrat. Irvin voted for...
Please, just stop. I will say, China has a strong stereotype of, oh, everything cheap comes from China. And I do agree. For example, like, plastics, I think it's really with plastics. is where it comes cheap. Is that when I buy some like plasticky, I fear if it's gonna break. If you like, what's it called? Like Elite 2.0, like a Nerf gun, Elite 2.0. What's it called? The plastic on Elite 2.0 is cheap, you know. Fourth is
number 4, Israel.
Israeli people the Israeli war.
For decades and decades. They fire rockets at each other from across the border. The politics.
Oh, also a fun fact about Israel is we do not know this, but they may or may not possess nukes. Like some person had supposedly leaked it back then, but was arrested and sent to their prisons. So to this day, we really don't know if they have nukes. It is a possibility.
And the drama that has gone on here for, like I said, decades and decades is just far too complicated to cover in a 10-minute video. But whenever you have warring neighbors, the one that's usually doing the most damage is the more powerful one, which brings on a lot of hatred. And that's part of Israel's problem. I mean, there's a ton that goes into this.
I will say,
basically the war that they've had with the Palestinian people.
Yeah, Palestine.
Nation, surrounded by Muslim nations, probably doesn't help matters either.
I will say, Israel is a tank at water. The way they manage water is insane. That's their extreme strength. They have the best water systems in the world. Desalination plants, controlled watering systems, etc.
Number 3, Russia. Russia has a history of...
Yeah. Again, I'm gonna say it right now. Their past and their government has really screwed them up. The Soviet Union was a mistake. They tried to expand way too big. They had the ambition to mine when they only had a hammer and a bucket to do it with. Basically, what I'm saying is, it's like the Soviet Union wanted to level a mountain with a pickaxe. That's what I'm basically trying to get at. They have screwed up their economy. Some of their designs is garbage. Let's not talk about the nuclear plants. Maybe there's a possibility that a plant called Chernobyl exploded. Literally a poorly designed nuclear power plant. They suppressed their people. They have killed, like, what's it called? The Soviet Union has actually killed way more people than the Nazis ever have. And I believe the death toll is at least 2 million people. Oh, and by the way, their gulag system. I remember when I read a book, Between Shades of Grey, and it details what it's like in the gulag. So if you were busted, like you could do nothing, you were sent to a cold gulag. And no, Call of Duty players, don't freak the F out because you heard the words gulag. But you were first forced to work, no pay, you were beaten in cold conditions. Barely anybody survived.
To its neighbors, not just in military.
Oh, and by the way, let's not talk about that. The Russian government is in possessionship of over 1,000 nuclear bombs. Literally roughly the same as the United States. So that's like one of the biggest rules. You do not anger China, you do not anger the United States, and you do not anger Russia or the UK. You do not anger them.
Attacking, forcing a bunch of countries to join the Soviet Union, and before you say it, yes, some went willingly. At least the people in charge went willingly. It's really hard to find average Joes from the old Soviet Union that were on board with this whole operation. Russia likes to create conflicts between major nations of the world, which is designed to...
If Russia just operated, like, peacefully, I would say, like, United States, but if they operated peacefully, and China operated peacefully, the world would be way different in a better light.
Beneficial to Russia. They like to kill people that disagree with them, no matter what country the person happens to be standing in. You know, like Russians go someplace else. They've been talking to the media bad about Russian government. Next thing you know, they've been poisoned with uranium or something weird like that. They're right now in the news because they've jailed an opposition leader that's been on a hunger strike. This isn't the first time they've done that either. All those things and some other things make Russia one of the most hated countries on the planet. Number 2, the United States of America. Yeah, you heard me. My country. United States.
I'm not offended by this. This country is riddled with controversy. Think about that. Home of the free, land of the brave. You're a free citizen, except for if you're, if you only get freedom if you're white, you're a man, and you're hetero. Dude, let's see. Let's see, 1920 minus 1776. It took women 144 years to be able to vote. And it took African Americans probably roughly 188. That's like, can you imagine signing up for signing a shipment and learning that, hey, you're gonna get it in like 200 years. Good luck. Like, dude, that's not fair. And what's it called? I will say, another thing is, like, America thinks they are the policemen of the world. They think that they're on top sometimes. And to be honest with you, they are not. They're literally not. They think they're all big and tough sometimes.
It's the second most hated country in the world. That's hard to believe if you're...
Another thing is that I kind of don't blame people, because the United States puts their fingers in everybody's little pie. I think another thing is the Middle East, I think, does not like the Americas, like, especially terrorist organizations. But that doesn't matter if they don't like it.
If you're from Russia, you're probably, wondering why people would hate Russia. That's just how things are. We're kind of designed to be that way. The United States of America is hated by many because of its vast military and economic power.
That's what I was trying to touch on. People, like, we have 1 million people in our military. That's 1 out of every 8,000 people on planet Earth. 1 out of 8,000. That is a big ratio.
It's the world, and that's just involved in so many different angered people from the areas and in the countries that the conflicts.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Vietnam was a very big one. People protested Vietnam. Nobody wanted Vietnam at all. Nobody.
There are a lot of cases wondering why we got involved. You would probably have to go back to the Korean War and World War II to find a time that we were truly justified by going to war there, and the people were probably happy with it 90% of the time. I mean, the people from those countries. But considering we've been involved in all these conflicts, we are one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, and we have the largest military, it's hard not to be hated by third world countries because of that. There are so many other things for all.
I don't blame them, because us Americans, we just sit and they get fat when people that are starving literally watch us and like, why do you waste all that food? I don't blame them. If I were looking at a country that was eating more food than me and they were getting fat and I was starving, I would be upset, dude. We get paid. We in this country get paid a lot. We also get, like, benefits. We have the right to speak. For example, literally, if I say F Russia in Russia, yeah, KGB's gonna be kicking down my door. I'm gonna go to the secret area. I'm gonna go back to, like, the shadow dimension, wherever they want to take me. And yeah, but, I could say F our government right now. I could scream F Biden. I can scream F our government, and I can't be legally punished for it. And I can see how people get jealous of that.
Really, not just the United States, but for all these countries, there's thousands of other reasons people might hate that country. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of them in the comments section below. Keep in mind, before you tell me I forgot something or I didn't include something, this is a 10-minute video. I'm not going to get to everything. I'm just kind of giving you an idea. But it is a very interesting subject. It's worth doing some reading on. And before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There's a link down below. We'd love it if you went over there, watch a couple videos, maybe subscribe. All right, on to number 1.
What is the most hated country?
And number 1.
Oh. Remember, the people are not the problem. If you think about it, imagine this. You live in a country, It's the only place in the world. There's no other area exists. It's your country, right? And you are, and you know, and your leader's a god who starves themselves. Who starves themselves. Quote, starves themselves for you. You cannot escape. I would rather, if I were, you know, actually, like, I would rather tour Russia than North Korea, because at least with Russia, there's somewhat cool Soviet remains. With North Korea, there's no escaping. You get stuck there, it is bad.
You know, when you put as much effort
Also, they really like nagging the United States.
North Korea does, you know what's going on isn't good. North Korea has been a big pain in the ass to everyone for a very long time. We know their people are starving, jailed, executed, they disappear in the middle of the night,
bad.
and they're subjected to an insane propaganda program. They're told that their leader doesn't have to use the restroom because he works so hard for the North Korean people that he burns off all the calories he takes in, so he never creates any waste. They also tell the people of North Korea that he has to take phone calls from other countries to solve problems that other countries can't figure out. They also have their own Netflix knockoff called Man Bang. I'm not kidding. It's called Man Bang. I don't even know how to explain they came up with that name, but it doesn't mean what it sounds like to Americans. I'm sure it means something different to them. This is a streaming service that has 3 channels, 2 of which are government news channels filled with nonsense, and 1 channel that shows government-approved movies only. Those who live in the country suffer from restrictions of freedom, as their internet access is heavily censored, poor infrastructure, low standard of living, and the reason they're all poor and their infrastructure is crumbling is because they put all their money towards nuclear weapons. This is an obsession with the North Korean government. It threatens the world with nuclear war, like, on a weekly basis. They have an aggressive attitude towards neighboring countries, and this has caused them to be pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. And people go on to believe that they're just totally...
Oh yeah, right. If you actually go look at a light radar, like radars of every light on Earth, there's almost nothing in North Korea. It's amazing, but scary. There's one blip, and it's Seoul? I don't know. Wait, no, Seoul's in South Korea. There's another one. I don't know what it's called.
I'm sure the people are just fine. It's just their government is just whacked.
Bam!
The world knows very little of what's going on in North Korea. Every once in a while, we'll get someone that defected over. They finally got out of the country, and they just tell us horrible things. I remember there was this soldier that jumped across the border not too long ago. He was starving. He had seeds from trees in his stomach that he just couldn't get enough food, so he was actually eating these big seeds that weren't digested, and it was kind of sad. Alright, that's today's list. Hope you guys got some information out of it. Hope you guys...
10 most hated cities in the United States. Again, just saying, I do not hate, like, people in other countries. I just hate the governments. Think about this. Think about it. The people in the United States, like the citizens of the United States and the citizens of Russia and the citizens of Ukraine, they don't want the war to happen, but the governments do. Like, nobody supports it. Not one single person. I don't even think the soldiers of Russia support the freaking Ukrainian war. Like, nobody favors it. Like, 99% of people do not want it. Yet it happens.
Hate is a strong word, but is there a major city in the United States that you actually hate? A lot of people say that they have a city or two they do. They hate it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to
My most hated city is probably Chicago/Peoria. Peoria in the United States used to be a powerhouse. If you had your, like, play back then featured in Peoria, you were popular. And I think that Lincoln actually visited that.
About cities people hate. Over the years, there have been a lot of surveys and research on how people feel about different cities and states in the United States, and actually the world. Today, we're just looking at the U.S. Gallup and Pew Research have done different studies on this subject. U.S. Census has looked at different aspects of how people feel about cities. Some travel websites have done polls, and one company actually asked truckers what cities they hate. Last week, I asked the question on this channel, and I got some good information from that. We took all the different studies and looked for the cities that showed up most frequently. My favorite survey asked people to name 3 cities they hate and came up with what percentage of the respondents had each city in their top 3 and the reason most often given for why they hate that city. Keep in mind we're looking at the negative side of the subject, so when you want to leave your comment, I understand that all cities on this list are not 100% bad. Like any location, whether it's a city, state, town, or country, it has some good as well. We're just looking at the negative side of it on this video. We'll do a second video where we look at cities people love. I mean, even the ones that people love, I can tell you this is the greatest city and everyone seems to love it, but there's going to be things in there that some people don't like. Maybe it's the greatest city in the world, low taxes, low houses, great jobs, but they got horrible traffic. You know, there's always a negative, there's always a positive. Today's list is ranked on the percentage of people that listed these 10 cities in their most hated 3. Alright, let's see who sucks. Number 10, Louisville, Kentucky. This one caught me a little off guard. I've been to Louisville.
I don't know anything about this city.
I really liked it. The only problem I had is I just didn't fit in. It wasn't my crowd. I did comedy there once for 3 nights, and they just didn't like me, or maybe they were jealous I had all my teeth. Who knows? But Louisville, in my opinion, is a beautiful city. As I did the research for this, I found out that's not everyone's opinion. Louisville is the 16,973rd ranked city in the USA. It's kind of far down on the food chain, if you ask me. Crime is 88% above the national average, and 38% of the people surveyed had Louisville in their top 3 most hated. The biggest reasons they give: crime, schools, and politics. Number 9, Miami, Florida. This isn't
Miami, I can see it because it's gonna be flooded. It's gonna be crime.
Miami has a lot of good food, a diverse population, and warm weather. It also has high crime, bad schools, brutal traffic, high cost of living, and housing prices that are 35% higher than the national average. Miami is 21,552nd ranked city in the United States. 41% of the people had Miami in their 3 most hated. The reasons they give? Most often, crime, housing, and poverty. Number 8, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You know, we don't talk about Philadelphia that much on this channel. I mean, unless we're talking about, like, historic stuff. That's one of the best things about Philly. Their history is just outstanding. You could spend a week there and still not see everything. You can't beat it for its history, tourism, and it's no slouch when it comes to sports either. A buttload of people don't care about that stuff because they showed the city of brotherly love. No love. Philadelphia is the 24,702nd ranked city in the United States. 24,000, that's weird. It's one of our best cities, too, in my opinion. 44% of the people surveyed had Philadelphia in their 3 most hated cities. The reasons they gave: it's too crowded, crime, unemployment, and schools. Number 7, Riverside, California. Now, I was on the fence with this one. Riverside has never seemed like a major city to me, but I guess some people do see it that way. It fits the over 300,000 threshold barely. So technically, I guess it is a major city. It's not a mega city like Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, but it's a major city. If you ever visit Riverside, you'll agree that this place does blow. You probably reflect back on this list and wonder why more people didn't say they hated it. It's the 21,748th ranked city in the United States. Kind of low on the totem pole. Not as low as Philadelphia, but still. They have high crime, bad schools, poverty, and 47% of the people had Riverside on their 3 most hated list. The reasons they gave: crime, traffic, air quality, pollution, and schools. It's party time! Great Shadow Legends is celebrating its
I don't care. I don't care. I don't like Raid Shadow Legends.
Number 6, New York City, New York. This isn't a surprise. Probably not to anyone. New York City.
Probably because it's too crowded. It's hard to live there. It's expensive.
All they want to do is visit. And if you look at the cost of living and housing, most realize that a visit is all they can afford to do. People started flooding out of New York City a few years back, and it's not slowing down. Probably anytime soon. New York City is ranked as the 18,097th city in the United States. 52% of the people surveyed had them in their top 3, and the things they listed: cost of living, cost of housing, traffic, and crime. Number 5, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is a nightmare.
St. Louis, the eastern part,
St. Louis into that mix.
Like the eastern part that's on the that is west of the river is okay, but anything else is just, especially the east of the river is just ass.
St. Louis Saturday night, the D-Day music. Yeah, they got some serious violent crime going on on over there. But St. Louis doesn't have the best stats either. They're the 26,126 ranked city in the United States and the 900th best place to live in Missouri. They are knocking it out of the park in suckage. 53% of the people had St. Louis in their top 3, and the reasons they gave: crime, employment, housing, and schools. Number 4, Los Angeles, California. LA is where I was
Definitely probably because of traffic.
the South Bay, and it still sort of sucked. It wasn't that bad until I would say the early 90s. That's when it made a turn. It was like crime was going up and so were home prices, which never makes sense. Crime goes up, home prices are supposed to go down. That's the natural order. Not here. It's too close to the beach for that to happen. Anyway, most of LA has sucked since, I don't know, before humans got there. Really? They actually have an area called the La Brea Tar Pits that used to trap all kinds of creatures back way before people got here. Every so often, some old bones will rise to the top. It always seems to be like a woolly mammoth or mastodon. I don't know the difference between the two of them, but it's always those furry elephants. It's their bones that are always floating up to the top. I had to go like 3 field trips there when I was a kid. Everybody knows LA sucks, so I don't need to explain that to you. What I will is that it is the 27,342nd best place to live in the United States. That's not a good number. 56% of the people surveyed
Detroit and Chicago have to be at the top of this list.
3 most hated cities. Reasons given, more than anything, it was traffic. Cost of living,
Yep, there it is. Traffic. I knew it.
Traffic's number 1 there. Goes traffic, cost of living, cost of housing, crime. Number 3, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore has crime, poverty, despair, bad schools, and a sliver of hope. Really, they might be turning the corner. I keep reading more and more tech companies are moving to Baltimore or have plans to move to Baltimore. So maybe there's a future. Maybe it'll be better in years to come, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I think it's about 2 decades away. They got a giant hurdle to get over with their crime and poverty. Baltimore is the 25,000th best place to live in the United States. Yeah, 25,062 to be exact. Maryland's a pretty small state, and Baltimore is only the 400th place to live in the entire state. 400. 56% of the people had Baltimore in their 3 most hated list. The reason they give? Crime, poverty. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, I was kind of
Probably because of poverty.
People love Las Vegas. And I think a lot of the people that put it down as their most hated places probably had something to do with them not having a good time there. I mean, a lot of people go there and lose a lot of money, and that'll kind of stick in someone's craw for quite some time. I've dropped some serious coin there over the years, and I don't feel good about it to this day. Last time I probably lost a good amount of money was over a decade ago, and it still burns like it was yesterday. So yeah, I got an axe to grind against Las Vegas too. As proof that it just may be, you know, gambling losers that hate Las Vegas, they're ranked the 44th best city to live in Nevada. Now, Nevada doesn't have a ton of cities. It's one of the lowest numbers of anything on this list, by a good stretch, too. And Las Vegas is the 10,852nd best place to live in the United States. Now, keep in mind, some of these are like bordering on the 30,000th area, you know, 20,000. That is absolutely the lowest we've had on this list. But that didn't stop 58% of the people surveyed to put down Las Vegas as one of the 3 cities they hate the most. The reasons they listed were crime and heat. That's it. They didn't have, like, you know, traffic or anything else. Like, it was just crime and heat. Alright, before we get to number 1, let me give you a little update on the survey we did on my channel. I asked
Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago.
The 3 winners were Dallas at number 3, Portland, Oregon at number 2, and San Francisco at number 1. Oddly enough, I went back and looked at all the other research, and none of those were in the top 20. One other thing to tell you, we also have another channel called On This Day. There's a link below. We'd love it if you check it out. Maybe subscribe. Alright, on to number 1. And number 1. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has been in shape forever. We've talked about this many times on the
Crime, traffic, bad area, bad living.
Some jobs have filtered back in over the last 5-6 years. The downtown area has kind of turned itself around. It's just outside of downtown blows. And I just recently said, if you look at downtown, it looks nice. Look at it from the satellite view. They've had to tear down so many abandoned homes around the outside of downtown. It almost looks like there's farmland around Detroit in some areas. Abandoned, homeless people were squatting in them and setting them on fire sometimes. So just to cut out some of the problems, they just decided to start mowing them over. That's how bad Detroit has been, where They have homes that are a complete loss. People have abandoned them, and the city's got to just mow them down because no one's taking care of them. Think about any other city in the United States. Most of us would just, love to have a home that we could move into for a good price. Detroit at one point was offering to sell homes for $1, and they still couldn't unload them. I'm not even joking. 655th ranked city in Michigan, and in the United States, it's ranked 26,879th. Yeah, that blows. 62% of the people surveyed had Detroit down on their list as one of the 3 they hated the most. Reasons given: crime, poverty, and unemployment.
Crime is horrible there. Here, I'll start party. Most dangerous city in every single state. For me, I would say in my state, it's either Chicago or Peoria. I'm not joking. Anyway. Yeah, Wyatt. The most dangerous state is Peoria. Peoria, in my area is Peoria. I am not joking. Not 1 week goes by without either a car accident, a shooting, or an arson. There has been 24 homicides within a year. And guess what? I don't know you know that, but you know how you used to go to Chicago, Peoria, and you see that giant factory on the river?
Yeah.
That factory had a failure, and they're actually tearing something down today. I don't know what happened, but something exploded.
Holy crap.
And they're taking it down this weekend.
I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
Core Power helps you recover and build lean muscle. Fueled by 26 grams of hot.
Is where you live safe? Because for many of us, it's not safe. Sure, crime had been going down a lot since a peak in the mid-1990s, but a recent spike has a lot of police agencies scrambling for a solution. If you live in a big city or near one, chances are you're pretty close to a danger hotspot, and even if you know which parts of town to stay away from, the crowd can sneak up on you at any time. Today, we're going to visit the most dangerous place in every single state. Now, some of these are going to be no surprise to anyone. They're major cities that have struggled with crime for a long time now. Some will be surprising. A lot of these places you may not have even heard of before. But if you live in one of these danger zones, you're going to be able to identify, because no matter how much you want to skew the numbers or say where you live is great, you can't argue with statistics. And some of these statistics are outright alarming. Well, we have a lot of ground to cover, so we should probably get going, right? We have to go to every single state. Plus, we don't want to stay in one place too long, because then we're going to be a target for all the criminals. Here are the most dangerous cities in every single state. We're going to begin in Alabama. It's a dangerous state as a whole, but here in Fairfield, things are really bad. Look at the place. It doesn't look very inviting, does it? It's a suburb of Birmingham, which is itself a super dangerous area. In Fairfield, you have a 1 in 47 chance of being the victim of a violent crime.
Oh, no wonder that place is violent. It's really near Birmingham, one of the most dangerous places in the United States. Many African Americans were bombed there.
Wait, who was bombed there?
Many African Americans during the civil rights protests. It actually caught the nickname Bombingham due to how many bombings happened in that area. Shitty place to live. Garbage.
Population. Because while you might have a bunch of really bad crimes happening in a place like Birmingham, it's a big place. So crimes don't stand out as much as they do in smaller places, like Fairfield. Here's another example of how a small town can really magnify crimes. We're in Kenai, a little coastal town with great fishing. It's not too far away from Anchorage geographically, but it's Alaska, so getting anywhere takes forever. There were 2 murders out here in this little Gulf community, and 500 or so thefts. This place has seen a noticeable uptick in such crimes over the past few years. Stuff like vehicle thefts, vandalism, trespassing, and larceny. That's a fancy word for saying somebody stole something from you. Down in Arizona, we have Globe, which is way out in the middle of nowhere up against a Native American reservation. Here, there weren't any murders, thank God, but 1 in 14 people had something stolen from them, and 1 in 50 people was physically assaulted. 1 in 50 people.
Basketball tryouts Monday.
25% year over year.
Next Monday.
One article in the Arizona Silver Belt, that's a newspaper, said local officials are concerned about Globe's reputation for crime.
God,
The paper
it's an
said they sit down
overpowered
with local
kid.
officials to highlight what's being done to fix things here.
When
They
you go
never did a
against an
follow-up
overpowered kid in a
Little
video
Rock
game,
is
Yeah.
not a
You
good
give
place,
up.
sadly, these days.
Yeah, Little
they
Rock.
use their mom's credit card to buy them stuff. Like,
God, I
swear.
hate when you have to fight some dumbass kid's freaking credit card. It's so damn annoying, dude. Like,
Yeah, and you think, oh my god, I hate this. Unless they're on my team, it's the worst.
by the like, yeah, Little Rock. Well, let's just say there's a lot of racial discrimination in Little Rock
Oh my
back
god.
then, and I can
Why are you
imagine
shaking me?
that redlining probably destroyed the city.
Just hit this. Oh my
It's the
god.
biggest city we visited so
Jesus,
far.
Spaniard.
It also
Oh
happens
my
to be Arkansas's capital. There were 38 murders and more than 200 rapes in Arkansas
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Ooh.
play
last
that
year,
now.
which is just off the charts. Last year saw a big jump in crime too. And Little Rock is on pace for spikes in crime it hasn't seen in 10 years. In just 1 month last year, Little Rock saw 5 murders, which tied for the highest number of murders ever. The police say the
I
violent
gave up.
spike here was partially because folks were cooped up inside because of COVID. Being kept inside with everybody made people stir crazy. Now you might think big cities in South LA or even San Bernardino might be the most dangerous places in the state, but statistically, it's little Emeryville, a small little city next door to Oakland. Actually, Emeryville is the most dangerous city in the country statistically. Of all cities we're going to talk about in this video, Emeryville, the worst. 1 in 5 people here have had something stolen from them, which is just crazy. 1 in every 5 people. And while thankfully there weren't any murders here last year, people have a 1 in 75 chance of being attacked every year. Emeryville crime rates are 805%
big
higher than the
chance.
national average. 805% people.
Then-
So you wouldn't want to live.
Then why do people live
You
here?
know, Glendale, Colorado is actually the second most
I have
dangerous
the
city
exact
in the country
same
when you measure crime per
skin
capita.
on my
Here,
team.
1 in 6 people were robbed last year, and
A
1
furry
in 1,000
and
people
a-
was raped. Glendale
1 in 1
area is
Oh my
south
God.
part of the Denver metro
Why would
area
you live
where-
here?
Look at this. Crimes are going on all hours of the
Got
day.
1 kill.
This chart tracks crimes in Glendale as they happen. Theft, other, who knows what that is. I mean, all of this went on just yesterday. There's only 5,000 people here. What the hell? Everybody knows New Haven's a terrible, dangerous place.
Let's go.
There were well over 1,000 violent crimes here last year. 5,000
We got,
people
like,
not
some
robbed.
dog water
Also, more
kids.
than 700 cars were stolen here. That's like 2 cars.
Are you
every
kidding me?
single day.
How do you
And that's
die
an
on my
11%
team?
decrease from the year before. Because, you know, it's a lot harder to steal cars when people are around a lot more. Seems like things
Oh my
might
God.
be improving here in New Haven. Violent crimes were down, although gunshot reports were up a bit.
I just
Apparently,
won because it's
releasing
like
prisoners because of COVID has meant more criminals are on the streets. But
the reason
New
why I
Haven
wasn't
folks say
on all day was
releasing
because our
right-type
power was
people
out all
is
yesterday.
like getting
Yeah, we were
people
having
out
some bad
of
stuff
the
yesterday.
schools. It's helped.
Yeah, like our
Stay in school,
internet was
kids.
out for like a
Teeny little
very
Laurel
long
has a
time.
big bite. It's way out in the middle of nowhere, way down by Maryland's eastern shore. Somebody got robbed here just about every single day last year. There's not a lot to do down here, so people turn to property crimes
When
and
you're-
drugs to stay
There we
occupied.
go.
Of course, Wilmington and Newcastle are also notorious.
I went to a
hotspots for
teenager
crime,
party,
but the rate
no
of crimes
joke.
in those cities is nothing
God.
like the crime rate in teeny
Like
little
all
Laurel.
teenagers there.
Now, just south of Homestead and practically in the Everglades
It was
is
not
little Florida
fun.
City, which is the 10th most dangerous city in the whole country and the most dangerous for violent crimes in the whole country. 1 in
Like,
38 people here in
they're
Florida City
cussing.
was victim of
Like, I'm used to
violence last
cussing.
year. It's just crazy.
Because my dad,
And
you
1
know.
out of every 14 people was robbed. Down here,
One of the
gun laws
kids when we were
relax,
playing
meaning it's
basketball
easier
made
for
a
people to
girl
access
bleed.
firearms.
Got
And
like
half
bit her
Florida
lip
City
and made her
lives in
bleed.
poverty,
Blah blah
or
blah.
legally just outside of poverty. It's really sad way down
Just
here in
a
the
lot of
urban
And then there's drama about her, the girl that bit her lip and started bleeding, and this guy named Jordan with braces. They got in an argument, and what happened next is shocking. Sorry, man. But no, she was talking about how much he hangs out with other people that he thinks he likes or whatever. Like, you know, like girls like as like he thinks are cool and stuff.
Probably, you don't have one more day of school left, right?
Me?
I have one more day of school left.
Oh. I have. Okay, so I have a summer school and I have 2 more days. No, not summer school, summer camp.
As the armpit of Oahu. One local says there's drug fiends everywhere and street hookers everywhere. The place looks like an all-around dump. However, for the most part, it's just robberies. That's a consolation to folks in this part of Hawaii.
Oh yeah, if you're thinking of getting Brawlhalla, it's free. I hate ads on YouTube.
Idaho's not very good.
Our internet was so it was so bad. It even like took 5 minutes off when we were playing Minecraft. It's like it was frozen for like 5 minutes. Like every 2 minutes it was frozen for 5.
Garden City is the least dangerous of all cities we're going to talk about in this video. For newcomers born in Idaho, you might expect to see crime go up. You'd be right, sort of. Violent crimes are on the rise in Idaho, including rapes and kidnappings. Terrible.
Rape
Hate crimes, though, are down here, so that's good.
I hate that.
Do you know there's been a spike in anti-Asian hate crime in the U.S.?
Actually, I heard that, Mappy. Apparently, some say it's part of the anti-Asian. Like he called COVID the China virus. That made people upset, and took it out on Asian Americans. I think we need you and Super Gay Cop out on the streets of the places we're talking about, Mappy. Do you think you guys would be a good crime-fighting duo? If anyone ever hurts any Asians, I'll totally put him in a headlock. I don't think you could put anybody in a headlock. You look pretty dainty there, guy. I'd like to see Super Gay Cop and Mappy try to last in Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Mount Vernon? This place has a nuclear power plant. I've heard of Mount Vernon.
People in Illinois are like, wait, what about the south side of Chicago or St. Louis? Well,
Peoria.
Illinois people, Mount Vernon is even worse. Somebody got beat up in this little community every other day, and 3 people got killed here last year. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you measure it against the total number of people here, it is. This little place has the 4th highest crime rate.
This was recorded in 2021. Oh, it's April, but well, that year of April, about 24 homicides occurred in Peoria. Peoria's a not good place to live. I heard that.
So you know the Cars movie when they're about to like pull the big semi with Lightning McQueen in there?
Yeah.
And that like neon light guy turning his like thing, that was him.
The diarrhea sound effect.
Listen.
So stupid.
That's literally what happened to me when I was sick one day. I just started peeing out of my butthole.
I call it butthole vomiting. Look, it's literally vomiting out your butthole.
Little Mount Vernon, way out in the middle of the state, somewhere along I-10.
Oh, rookie numbers. Peoria's worse than that.
Sure in that area. Now, many Americans know South Bend, Indiana is home to
Oh, good. That's where my cousins live.
Indiana knows South Bend is a terrible, dangerous hood. 1 out of 24 people here was last year.
The banana.
South Bend had 14 murders last year. Also of note, this is where Transportation Secretary and former presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg
deers in other countries.
For 8 years.
Deers in Russia.
Do a very good job there.
There's deers in Russia flying.
Iowa is one of the safer places you could raise a family these days. And but not in Council Bluffs, way out on the state's western border, just across the Missouri River from Omaha. Council Bluffs only has 2% of Iowa's population, yet 7% of all robberies in the whole state were committed here. Of course, gambling is legal in Iowa, so you have a lot of that crowd spilling over from Omaha and doing God knows what over here in Council Bluffs. But it's Iowa, and it's pretty safe overall. The most dangerous part of Iowa is like talking about the poorest billionaire. It's all about respect for people. Wichita is the most populous city in Kansas. This is one of the rare times when a large city is the most dangerous.
You know Kung Fu Panda, right?
Oh my god.
Right, you know Kung Fu Panda, right?
What?
You know Kung Fu Panda.
Yes.
Okay, so you know that, I think in the first movie that, like, Gray Tiger said, wait, listen. He says, what are you gonna do, guy?
And all these drive-bys and attacks and murders. Well, they say they haven't figured out the causes, but a lot of crimes
what are you gonna do
traced
to
back
me,
to
big guy?
drugs
Oh,
and
me, he
mental
says,
health
yeah.
problems. At least in Wichita. That's what they say. Well, there's parts of Louisville that you would never venture into. Overall, it's only Kentucky's second most dangerous place to live. The top honor goes to Little Mayfield, located out in the middle of an otherwise somewhat safe part of southeastern Kentucky. Mayfield ranks third in the state for overall violent crimes per capita, and 1 in 23 people was robbed here last year. Opelousas, Louisiana is simply a terrible, crime-ridden ghetto. It ranks as the 7th worst place for crime of all cities on this list. 1 in 41 people was the victim of violent crime, which is second only to Florida City. 1 in 41 people. Chances are, if you're any gadabout here in Opelousas, you know somebody who was beat up or raped last year. What is going on in Opelousas? Typically, crime and poverty go hand in hand. This is the 4th worst place in Louisiana.
Oh my god, the dog is
SpongeBob. Located way out practically
Is SpongeBob in the hallway? It's a balloon SpongeBob staring at a dog.
I mean, Maine is practically the safest state you can live in the country overall. Most of what goes on here is just robberies. This little town hasn't seen a murder since 2015. When 2 teens brutally bludgeoned a 61-year-old man to death, which is just sick. But relatively speaking, 1 murder every decade is nothing compared to the other cities in this video. Ocean City, believe it or not, is even more dangerous than Baltimore, measured by the number of people who live there. It's actually the 4th most dangerous place
Uncle
in the country.
Ben, what happened?
76 people is a victim of an assault.
Squeaky.
And 1 in 10 was robbed here last year. Now, some would say the numbers are skewed against Ocean City because the population explodes in the summer. So a large number of crimes happen among tourists.
Ben, what
Yeah, that's true. It also means you don't want to come here in the summer then, because you have a high chance of being robbed. Holyoke, Mass. is well known among the state's residents as being a terrible place to live. It's just north of Springfield, which is also a terrible place to live. A lot of the
But you also gotta realize that there's like 69 Springfields.
5% of violent crimes are committed by an estimated 600 gang members who are all battling for turns.
Did you know how many Springfields there are?
Crime is going down here, though.
How many?
Partially due to the city's
I don't even know. There's so many Springfields.
kids. Gangs are bad. Gang membership peaked in the mid-90s, and then it went down, and then it went back up again about 15 years ago. Today, we have an estimated 750,000 gangbanger punks in this country who definitely need to get a freaking job and grow the F up. There's a reason they call Benton Harbor Benton Harlem. This little city along Lake Michigan is even worse than Detroit and Flint and Saginaw and Pontiac, everybody. 1 in 50 people was assaulted here last year. Benton Harbor's police departments had a high turnover rate. They've had some budget issues, but the public safety director here last year said he envisions Benton Harbor as one day looking like Mayberry. Mayberry, people!
Roblox.
Now, I hope they turn this place around and all, but they'd have to completely transform the type of people who live here. They want Benton Harbor to one day look like Mayberry. Bemidji, Minnesota has been challenged for years now. It's sort of in the center point between a bunch of Native American reservations, which forever now have been sad places where crime and drugs are rampant.
Oh my
Here in Bemidji,
god.
1 in every 13 residents was robbed last year. A lot of residents blame the sheer boredom way out here for high crime rates. I guess robbing and stealing is fun for people, especially cars. I guess you see a lot of cars out this way. Crime's been going down here, which is good. The cops say more cops has been the key to lowering crime in Bemidji, which throws the whole defund the police argument out the door, right? For all the knocks on Mississippi for its poverty and poor educational system, it's actually surprisingly safe. I mean, it ranks as the 28th most dangerous state. It's not that bad.
Have you ever heard of the Clara memes?
There's
No.
Dude, you know that one, like that one Asian chick that's really popular for cheating? She said, "Why, Clara? She left the cheats on," and people say, "Oh no, not Clara."
Oh no, rip. Oh.
What did I just hear?
I'm supposed to get 30 plus funny sound effects YouTubers use. That's a special, and that's a short.
The diarrhea sound effect.
The short. Dreaming. What's dreaming about? Always those weird YouTubers such as Scoobycraft.
I bet you.
Always those people. Wait, is it Scoobycraft? Those people that add so many sound effects.
Holy crap! Okay. I remember when I used to edit a lot of videos. They beat me. Like they triple the amount of sound effects I used to edit my videos. Like, agreed.
And they get millions of views, maybe even like y'all who watched that. I only met one person that
Fetus.
watched it.
Feti.
You know who watches that crap. Someone that lives with me, Case. Yeah, we all know that one. That one too. Oh my god. This Scooby crap.
I forgot what sound effect that was from.
Oh wait. Investigating.
Investigating troll, I think might be.
Slap 1, slap 2, hug slap, huge slap. Cartoon spring, spit, heartbeat. That's water dripping, nothing else.
Respect the drip. No.
Don't mess with Barney is one of my popular meme sounds. Number 2, HD. Warning on the air. Oh, my suspense. Flashback. Darn, man. So you see? Remember what Echo sent in? That 20th century, or yeah, the 20th century, and it says, "No one cares." Shocked.
Oh my god, it's dude, you know how many times it's spammed in Morgs' videos?
Oh my god, I used to watch him and I was always like, oh my gosh, it really happened. Now that I heard on this guy named DJ Cook, you know who he is?
Yes. If you or somebody you know has Morgtitis or douche-titis, also known as watching Morgs, Rice Gum, or any other douchey YouTuber,
bro,
you are entitled to psychological compensation.
Bro, my friend's sister had a crush on Morgs, and I knew when no one liked me.
Here at SCP site, beep, we'll make you all better. Morgan, we need some scrut.
I am about to take a dump. That's like when someone cusses, I swear. I'm about to take a poo. I had to go pee the first time, now I'm about to go dump. Be right back.
Okay. This is taking so long, but it's so worth it. Ice, ice, ice. Let's see, I'm gonna start taking out some materials. Actually, accessories. Yes, yes. May annoy others. There's no may in that. Oh, there's one.
So, okay, so you know those sticky traps that get like rodents stuck, like mouse or
yes.
rats? So about that, we had a mouse in a sticky trap, and my dad wasn't home. And when he does get home, the mouse escaped the sticky trap.
Just
like,
you should have told him. Imagine sucking, bro.
Wait,
imagine.
Okay, clapping. Suspicious too. Oh, that's Morgs. Haters. Pucker up. Cartoon bounce.
Oh, this is.
That was just now. That is what happened when you played it.
It's Christmas in Terraria! Listen! My humor's bad. Oh my god, I'm dead.
Super Mario.
The chest spits out money.
Morgs. Just imagine Morgs gets Morgan.
Mom, I got pregnant at 13. Not clickbait.
Okay, wait. Morgs. 11.6 million subscriber. 733 videos.
Have you seen the video? Have you seen videos of Nick got avocado farting?
Oh no! I thought my friend had this avocado thing on her just Terraria. No, and she had it in her like picture frame, like in her like album in her phone, and it had Nick avocado with fries. It said, "These fries are so good." Ding a ding a ding a ding a. Oh, under his subscribers it says, "No, I'm not 12." I'm not kidding. Go to his channel. It says, "No, I'm not 12. Moore's first ever sleep stream. Bad idea.
I want to search up Nick got avocado farting. It's bad. Just search it up. You won't. So.
I'm just gonna Nick avocado. Farting.
Turn it up all the way.
Oh my god, do you see like his like, oh my gosh.
It's so wretched.
For 2 minutes, Nick avocado farting compilation for 1 minute.
Oh yeah, just turn it up.
And he's eating Popeyes. He's eating Sonic. And he's smiling about it.
Oh my gosh, it's just like flying out of me. Oh.
What's on? The one after this one is the best.
Marty, I'm spluttering.
That one is the best. That one is the best.
The guy just slaps him and he starts face.
Yeah, that's his husband. That's his husband.
And the guy beside him is just so depressed.
That guy, that's his husband.
Wait, what?
Yes, that's his husband.
Wait.
Yeah. Can you imagine how bad it must stink in his apartment?
Oh my god.
Dude, it's got, yeah, dude, a freaking cat could die in his apartment. It's that stinky. I'm not.
It's 10 months ago. He says, we broke up on his own channel.
No, they didn't.
Listen.
Just take one.
He's so mad. He just threw them on the ground. He is such a baby, no joke.
Search up Nick avocado, Mr. Rage.
Wait. Sherman.
Mr. Rage compilation 2.
Where is it? Please be the one.
Today we're having french fries.
I was down, talked to my doctor about Rudolph's. Ask your healthcare provider about Rudolph's today.
There's one where he gets slapped. He farts really bad. He gets.
It says today we're having french fries Gangnam Style. Oh my god, I can't even log out. Oh my god, he's so fat. Bro, he gets oversized KFC. Oh my gosh. Damn. Wait,
that one where he's smiling as he farts. Oh, that's the worst one.
Oh, yeah.
That is so gross.
Oh, I just got the best idea. Oh my
I love
god.
this. Well, I love this one. Listen, I love this one.
I'm splattering.
Wait. Oh, Meat Canyon made King of Mukbang.
Mukbang.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Wait, Nick, edit this out.
Wait, race. Should I do that
He literally probably shats his own pants.
I'm gonna go. Wait.
Oh my gosh, It's just like flying out of me.
That's what she said. Oh, the best one, the best one.
I'm splattering.
So, I like when he farts and his husband slaps him. Oh my God. I know, my humor is hit a new low. Search up Orland roasting Nick.
Really? Do you know who Nikocado Avocado is?
Come on.
Nikocado Avocado. It's a farting compilation of him. Oh, that's something you would do.
I like how he has like too much information. Listen.
Pooped myself. I woke up in a pile of poop. There's poop on my feet. It's stuck in between my crack. I can feel the crusties. I knew there was something. Jesus, Mary, it's chicken nuggets coming out my butthole. I fucking shit myself.
He even has a second channel, more avocado.
He has like 5 channels, by the way.
Oh my God!
I was making these
Extreme
noodles.
Bukowski's fire noodles.
And
I hungry fat chicken.
I pooped on the chair.
Dude.
I don't like myself.
Dude, my butt.
Are you watching one of his videos?
A compilation.
Well, what do I think about her?
God, no.
I swear, I would comment on one of his videos saying, "Do you have a wife?"
No, he has a husband.
You guys
I know, and see what he would respond with.
But my digestion has not been very good.
Oh my God. Dude, he had to have shat himself on that one. Dude.
That was a wet one. I'm really confused right now. I just pooped my pants.
Yeah, you had to have shit your pants. I'm laughing at I'm laughing at Orland's reaction. He's just like, kill me now.
Are you okay? So I'm in. Okay? So I'm in my. I got a Microsoft account put in, and what I'm in is what's it called? CubeCraft.
When you Nikocado your avocado? I like this one.
Poop on my sheets. It's stuck in between my crack. I can feel the crusties. I knew there was something. Jesus, Mary, it's chicken nuggets coming out my butthole.
People in horror movies, horror movies be like.
I pooped in the middle.
What's up with all like the white blonde people of horror movies?
Everything is flying out.
I don't know.
I was making these noodles, and I pooped on the chair.
Okay, so it says white people versus black people in scary movies.
Well, what do I think about her?
Oh my God. It's so bad.
You guys, it's actually been a really good day today so far, but my digestion has not been very good.
It's so ranky. Dude, his farts look like they'd smell worse than my dog's farts. And my dog's farts are rank ass.
You should hear mine when I'm in the bathroom. Wait,
Dude, dog farts are the effing worst.
Did you? I just had a theory. How bad do you think it is when he has to take a poo?
Dude, there's gotta be at least like 5 pounds of poo coming out that hole.
He said, I feel like chicken nuggets.
I mean, according to him, his hole is loose, so his butthole's like needs surgery or something. I'm not too sure.
Here, buddy. I like
That's right.
cut, G.
Called by Orlin. You have a loose hole. It's loose. You can fit a whole fist up there.
Come here, boy. I'm gonna kill you.
Orlin is just a Giga Chad.
My dad went fishing with Case.
Oh, sure.
Hey, I'm on teaming. Always betray people when you team with them. It's so fun.
Nikocado farting, pooping, peeing. You're welcome.
I wonder how bad it is when
we do a weigh-in, we weigh ourselves. We find out what the figure is. Skip to the end if you're interested.
Brace, 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 brace. He says that every time he's about to fart. Oh! That was rank! The sound of that! You had to have pooped yourself from that.
Race, I'm sending you an image.
Your fault.
I didn't get done shooting this. This is discrimination.
That's what's in the PvP match I'm playing in.
I feel the splat. It's your lady.
That's my quote.
Yeah, right.
I feel the splat. Random person.
Race. It says you're offline.
Brace.
Yeah, so that way people don't know anyway.
Oh, okay. But if you get the image I sent you, that's what's in the world I'm in. It's not like it's like a PvP area free for all. So fun. Oh my gosh. I'm so freaked out. Me when I play Fortnite.
Oh my god.
Race my bathroom, I think. That one kid when they spam the.
I'm sorry if anybody ever comes back and watches this. My humor is at an all-time low.
Race, turn it off. I'm gonna play some. Okay, should I play? I'm gonna play some Star Wars. What you gonna be doing tomorrow? Great shot, kid.
I like how he says, I quote, have the crusties. I feel chicken nuggets coming out my butthole. Oh my god.
My PS4 ain't working. My PS4. Oh my god. Oh.
I go every Dude, I like how every time Nick farts, his husband just smacks him.
Race, here. Race, what are you doing? You should look up like look up like funny moments in Star Wars Battlefront. What'd you get? A fish? What was that? Show me. Did you give me something?
Oh.
What game? Tell me. Where? Did you get a fish? Did you touch it?
That's what she said.
See that. Oh my gosh, it's a polar bear. I eat polar bears for a living. You! Put it together. Put it together? Star Wars!
I have 16 on raw gold.
He didn't go fishing, he went cliffing. Oh, I was fishing.
Well.
Should I? I'm gonna play Terraria. No, Case, I'm not playing against Race. Oh my god.
Are you drunk?
I'm trying to find a game and there's no one that's joining. Race, you wanna play Minecraft minigames?
I can't.
Oh, you can't? Why?
Oh my god.
He's not.
No.
He's playing Terraria.
Yeah, cry about it.
That's not the one I made. The one I made.
I'm in a queue, yes. Ew, there's some sticky crap on the.
Seeing the sun?
Ew, what the heck? Ew. Ew, what is that? That's disgusting. Mistake.
Oh my god, hold on. Ray, listen. You might hear me. Listen to this.
I'm gonna send Charlotte by Charlotte or Rebecca G down.
Listen.
And don't forget all the trouble we got into.
Why does somebody not know how to flush the toilet after they've had a shit?
What do you mean?
Well, it was fucking one of yours. Disgusting!
Wait, race. I forgot what I was gonna say. What was it?
Disgusting! It was one of you.
What if it was her?
Disgusting!
Look at the old vines. Race, you should go on them and look at old vines.
I'm gonna send Charlotte.
If one of you has had a
Charlotte or Rebecca G down.
I have to play it one more time.
And don't forget all the trouble we got into.
Why does somebody not know how to flush the toilet after they've had a shit?
What do you mean?
Well, it was fucking one of yours. Disgusting!
I'm playing online mode. Oh my! I just got like bombed. Like literally, I got bombed by someone. Yeah, what does it look like? I'm out in the big field. What the? Bro, this guy has a scatter gun and he just two-shots me. I love this game when you get two-shotted by someone. Oh my gosh. Ew, oh my, I got two-shot, like. What, is these kids staying on their game? Like, I don't even... Why are the people... I didn't say. I'm gonna change my gun. Okay, let's go. Oh, yes! I like this gun. I like this gun. This gun's actually pretty good. Jesus! Oh my gosh. The stormtrooper waits until I open
These
the door.
nuts!
I swear, if you come at me again.
I've spent over an hour sorting through stuff.
So what? Is Terraria like Minecraft, but like with a lot more
crack.
stuff?
Yeah.
Terraria in a nutsack? Or not? No, not nutsack. Nutshell.
You say what?
Oh! This guy has so much aimbot, I swear. I swear this guy has aimbot, like, there is no doubt. Oh my god! What is that sniper? This kid has a sniper.
Are you playing 2?
I'm playing...
Are you playing 2 or 1?
I'm playing 1 Deluxe Edition.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm surprised people still play this game. Like, this is a game no one plays, I feel like. Same thing. Bro, what guns do these guys have? These E11? Oh my god. I just want a single kill. I'll admit it, I want a single kill. Cool. I shot a proximity bomb. Anywhere I go, I die. I'm gonna risk my life, no joke. I'm gonna throw a bomb at someone. Stop it, Case, now. I get bombed by a laser trip mine. Wow, so cool, guys. Totally not dog. Why you always lying? Why you always lying?
Kinda regret not clipping my rage.
There's a guy here.
I'm just gonna put everything in this chest as a placeholder.
87. I love kids that. Kate, stop!
What's he doing?
It's moaning.
Oh god. Homie, you ain't even had puberty yet. You're already moaning.
Kate! Kind of my fault, you know. The older siblings teaching.
I'm gonna take a break. After an hour of sorting